The Aral Sea is situated in Central Asia, between the southern part of Kazakhstan and northern Uzbekistan. The sea is flanked by two rivers, the Amudarya and the Shiridarya rivers, which are responsible for feeding water into the terminal lake through the south and north respectively.
Up until the third quarter of the 20th century, the Aral Sea was the fourth largest saline lake, containing 10 grams of salt per liter.
However, today it is one of the worst ecological disasters in history.
At the heart of this disaster was the Soviets' decision to divert the rivers in the 1960s so that they could irrigate the desert region surrounding the sea to support agriculture, such as cotton farming. This had the effect of immediately reducing water levels of the Aral Sea as evaporation exceeded inflows.
Evaporation rates skyrocketed due to the positive feedback systems caused by reduced volumes of water and changing salinity levels, which in turn further increased evaporation rates. By 1998, water levels were down by 20 meters with a total volume of 210 cubic kilometers as compared to 1,060 cubic kilometers in 1960. By 2000, the lake had separated into the North Aral Sea in Kazakhstan and the South Aral Sea in Uzbekistan. The South Aral had further split into western and eastern lobes. By 2014, the eastern basin of the Aral Sea dried up completely and has been labeled one of the most dramatic alterations of the Earth's surface for centuries.
The Aral Sea has been reduced to between 5 and 10% of its original size. As a result, it is now being called the Aral Desert. Two primary impacts of the decline of the Aral Sea is reduced water levels and increased salinity. Reduced water levels directly relate to the decline in the fishing industry. Thousands of fishing boats have been abandoned in the lake as the water receded. What was once a common way of life has been halted. Fishermen remember catching large saltwater carp, flounder, and catfish. However, today, if they wish to fish, they must travel over 2,000 kilometers to camps in eastern Kazakhstan. In the Aral Sea, many fish populations have become endangered. Of the region's 24 species of fish, the majority have become extinct. During the Soviet era, an increase in pesticide, herbicide, and fertilizer use was seen throughout the region, as a demand for Central Asian agriculture increased. The toxins now lay on the exposed lakebed as dust. As desertification increases, this dust is blown into surrounding villages and is causing several health issues. For example, anemia is becoming widespread throughout the region and is being linked to the spread of toxins. Also being attributed to the spread of these toxins is an increase in miscarriages, infertility, and birth defects. There is also a higher prevalence of tuberculosis, respiratory infections, and cancer in the villages surrounding the Aral Sea.
Mitigation efforts for the shrinking Aral Sea are difficult. So difficult, in fact, that states with jurisdiction have already given up, in part. The main effort, building a dam that separates the South Aral Sea from the north, essentially abandons more than half of the sea. The south is now considered to be completely dry. Adaptation in the face of such a crisis may be the better path, but the UN is unwilling to surrender. Damming the sea has led to an increase of 30 cubic kilometers in the north. The abandonment of the south may not have long-term effects if the water in the north can be equitably distributed, which it seems the UN is committed to ensuring. The ECIFAS, the Intergovernmental Fund for Saving the Aral Sea, has been working to reconcile the different needs of different countries. Upstream countries wish to use the water for energy, but downstream countries need the water for irrigation. Thanks to the IFAS, both sets of needs are being accounted for when water is allocated. Bodies such as the IFAS are the only reason why mitigation has a chance of being successful in the region. Further modifications, therefore, have been underway, such as other portions of the NAS, the Syr Control in Northern Aral Sea project. The Syr, which feeds the North Aral Sea, has undergone channel modifications that increase the carrying capacity. A combination of the dam and channel modifications have led to a small rebounding of the fishing industry, an indication that there is hope for what remains of the sea.